Hi, it's Father Barry. It's Monday and it's September the 20th. And today we're just going to talk about um, those who have, suffered injuries in their image of fatherhood, suffered on the earthly side of things, and then having a problem on the maybe spiritual fatherhood image of God. This is going on, and thought I'd just bring up the topic, talk a little bit about it today. One of the things that happens when a person has a father wound is then it's hard for them to relate sometimes to the Heavenly Father. There's a lot of, you know, ministry that we get of the Heavenly Father, being loved by the Heavenly Father, even just praying to the Heavenly Father for comfort. Our Father, or Abba Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. But some people have a hard time with just Father, just because of what happened to them on their human journey. And we have fathers that, have not done a good job. But, if you're a father watching this, I'm not pointing fingers or blaming or just thinking every father has to be perfect. It's a difficult world, and some fathers had to work a lot of hours or had to go through a hard thing themselves before being fathers. And some are, you know, um, feel inadequate, not make enough money, or just have the opportunities they want, and in a very secular consumer culture. Now, this tape is about people who've been hurt by a father or a lack of father or something in that category. So that's where I'm going to be going. But if you just happen to be a father that hasn't, you realize you haven't acknowledged some hurts or you haven't addressed them uh, that you may think you've inflicted or you've never asked, um, then I just encourage you to explore that and see if that's something worthwhile. And if you have felt like you have done some hurt, well, maybe also you have some work to do looking backward yourself. Um, and you have to have the Lord go back and do healing of memories, healing of experiences, and it's a whole kind of an area of healing. Um, but if it's you, then I think one of the biggest things is just the lack of fathers. I think with our divorce culture, and so many fathers are gone away from the children or limited, and that brings a lot of hurt. And I was just remembering, even back to my youth and stuff, just seeing divorce happening around and the effect on some of the other young men and young ladies, you know, or else just bad marriages, and which causes a split, though it's not a divorce, it causes friction. And you know but I also can think of a child that in a religious ed program, and his parents just worked all the time, and that's just what they had to do to make ends meet. But poor little guy would come to the rectory a lot and just looking to talk to somebody, that want to be home alone, and that's the way his situation was. Here's a young fellow that when he grows up is going to have to deal with that and do some healing. So I knew a couple of guys I went to seminary with, and they had big time father wounds, a lot of abuse, verbal abuse, and some physical abuse from their father. Well, I knew those guys for 5 years and uh, in school, and so we talked a lot about the areas in life that had to be healed to mature, get strong, so they could be good ministers later in the priesthood. And they did a lot of work, healing work and healing of memories. And I can just tell you that there are ministries that do this, that take you on a journey of self, probing yourself, going back with Christ and going through memories. And you can get the help of a saint too. And my friends now, to both of them, especially one of them, since they're so strong in their healing, uh, and their work of reconciliation with their father was done in their own hearts, regardless what the father could do. They now do healing, of the father wound retreats. They travel around and do this a lot. In this year of St. Joseph, unfortunately, the pandemic is going on. And so I wanted to bring Father Philip Scott here as a speaker, but we're just waiting to see when things are going to clear. Now, I know that he spoke at TASTE program over in Laurel in 2015 on the Father wound going to the Father Eternal. And if you go to the TASTE program.com over in Laurel, St. Mary the Mills, you can listen to the talk he gave and get an idea of what he says. And he's done parish retreats. I don't know if he's recorded any or if he has some pamphlets or booklets out there. But he's someone that I know pretty well, and I know some of the journey he's had to take with his own healing. But now the wounded healer is out healing other people. So look him up and just look up wounded healer, father wound, Catholic healing, charismatic renewal. You might find something. So his name is Father Philip Scott, and I will try to get him here or try to get him on tape onto our website. He did try to give a parish mission in Montgomery County somewhere else, but it was very limited during the pandemic who could come. And the recording they made of him, it was a little hard to hear it. So there's other books like Affirmation for Healing the Father Wound. I think the author is Hicks, wrote that like 3 years ago. Sons of the Father, that's another book written about 10 years ago about ministry of sons and fathers and better intimacy needed, so the fathers that are there in the lives. I was thinking of this one particular episode years ago, pretty difficult, tried to work with this person. Well, I'll finish with this one and just keep it vague, really. But imagine if you're a person growing up and two sons, you're one of two sons, your father favors your brother. He's bigger, he's a great athlete, he has a lot of obvious gifts. And you're more of a nerd and more of not physically coordinated and, looking a little bit more like Homer Simpson than Tom Brady, So he felt like he was just kind of ignored. And then his brother kind of beat up on him being older, and his brother, eventually this man also got teased by a lot of people, and he got raped by other men, and he was publicly humiliated. And so you can just imagine the wound. And his father didn't defend him after all that, didn't believe him, or didn't want to believe him, didn't want to care. And just the wound that just stays. And then the father dies, and there's nothing resolved. And this person brings all that into their adult life, and it's unresolved, and it's not spoken about. And this person is not in a Christian ministry to help them put the light on it. So that's what ends up happening. So in ministry, sometimes people come and they trying to get help, and I can give it to my own capacity as a pastor of being busy, but try to also steer them into right directions. But my friend, Father Philip, he went from diocesan priest to just doing healing ministry work in religious life instead. And this is what he does all the time now. And there's enough work to keep him busy, unfortunately, for people like I just mentioned. So, but let's petition St. Joseph, please help people to find the healing they need from the people they need. And Jesus Christ, you're the head of this whole operation. We're just appealing the Father in Joseph, and we're praying for healing for people as we do this St. Joseph series. Well, I got to get out. I said it was going to be short. It's going over 8 minutes. Sorry. I'm going to leave. Just leave you thinking about that for the weekend. Bye.